Welcome to Ward 9 Legacy Podcast with John William Wade and myself, LeAnne Mcleod. Hi, John. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's nice to see you again.
It's nice to see you again, too. It's been about a month.
It has, actually. It's been about a month, yes.
So what made you want to do this podcast for Ward 9?
Oh, well, because Ward 9 is a really interesting ward. I think it's actually probably the most unique ward in all of Calgary. Because what happens is you span from Renfrew down to Bridgeland, Inglewood, and then Ramsey. So you have all those areas in the inner city. Then it spans all the way down Memorial Drive to the Ring Road, goes south down to Glenmore Trail, and then comes back over to Mcleod Trail. And then just that last little bit where the Saddle Dome is cut out, so it goes along Scotsman Road there. It's a huge difference between the different areas. And what happens is a lot of people don't really realize what Ward 9 has to offer. So we're really wanting to start highlighting the people who are really making a difference in Ward 9. So the individuals, the businesses, the social services, the volunteers, and all the different cultural aspects, because you get into 17th Avenue, International Avenue. So it's a phenomenal area, and it really needs to be highlighted to all Calgarians so that they understand what's going on.
So let's talk about how long you've been in Calgary and why Calgary being in this ward is so important. Let's start with how long you've been in Calgary.
Well, I've been in Calgary all my life. There was a short time where I lived in Japan, so that was almost 8 years, and that was just after university because I graduated at University of Calgary. And then I went off to Japan to open up 3 English schools where we had a staff of 10 people that we were teaching people from 2 years old to 76 years old English. So,
wow.
Yeah, so we did that for about almost 8 years. Then I sold that business, came back to Calgary to get into real estate. And I've been back ever since.
So being back in Calgary, what have you seen go on politically that you'd like to see changed?
Well, Calgary's gone through some interesting times lately. Oil and gas, of course, has changed dramatically. We also have, we've obviously had COVID. And then when I got involved formally, it was in International Avenue and 17th Avenue Southeast. So that was the BRZ, that's a Business Revitalization Zone. And what that does is they represent the 420 plus businesses along International Avenue. So that goes from 26th Street all the way to the Ring Road. And so we were involved in the whole renovation of that street. And we were also involved in many different aspects to promote the businesses and the people's lives in the area.
And okay, so other than that, let's talk about what so you've gone through a process. You're going on your campaigning. So when does a lot of that start for you? Let's talk about your family first. I guess is what we should start with. Is who you are as a Calgarian. So you were married.
Yes.
And it's interracial, right?
Yes. Yeah, my wife is from Korea. She was here studying our English school system so that she could go back to her country and then become a principal of a school. And then we met. She couldn't resist me.
She couldn't resist you.
Yeah.
Oh my good Lord. I've known John for 15?
Yeah, it's been a while.
15 years. So I met him when he first came back from Japan. We've been friends ever since. Mm-hmm. I know I'm really excited to see you run for Ward 9. Very excited. And let's talk about why you decided to run.
Well, because for quite a while, we were making a really big difference, especially in International Avenue. We really made great strides. For the first time, we actually got the city to actually spend some money on us and redo the avenue. So they had the rapid bus system. We also were able to do redo a lot of the sewage and electrical and beautify the area. And then about 3 or 4 years ago, starting from about that point, we started to notice that we were doing some backsliding here. And so what happens is we've now noticed the backsliding to the point where it actually disturbs me to think that I just spent 9 years of my life volunteering for the area and have it erased. And I can't let that happen.
Okay, so what are the goals then?
The goals for the campaign?
For the campaign.
Okay, so well, obviously the goal is to become the city council.
Well, obviously,
but
that's a given.
The campaign, but for the campaign, our our campaign is based on inclusiveness. And really, instead of dividing people, we want to unite people so that they're not fighting against each other. We're not labeling people and saying they're this and that. No, we're all here in Calgary and we need to get along. We've gone through some tough times and we may go through some more, but if we stay together, we'll do really well. We also are looking for transparency in the fiscal part of the city. A lot of people are feeling ignored by their city council, which is odd because technically a city council is supposed to be working for the people, not vice versa. And so we need to now have more transparency in how the money is being spent. Probably when we get more transparency, we will see that we'll have opportunities to reduce some of the spending that we have and make it smarter. And then finally, it's about bringing the different groups of the city together. So the business community, the social services, the individuals, and the government, and bringing them all together so that we can find the best ways and best solutions to move forward in Calgary.
Okay, so let's talk about your professional career. You've been a real estate agent for how long now?
16 years.
And that's not the only part of your job. So let's discuss the other parts of your job quickly, just so people have an idea of who you are.
Yeah, so professionally, I'm licensed as a realtor here in Calgary and Alberta. I also do business brokering, and that's really been important, which is what led to me becoming a member of the Business Revitalization Zone, because they represent the business owners. And so helping people buy and sell companies, we've been able to see all kinds of different challenges, especially lately, that the different business owners are facing. One of them being the taxation system. So we need to bring transparency and really understand that each business owner has what I call their non-voting shareholders sitting at home, waiting for that business owner to make the best choices for them.
And so let's explain this to everybody out there. How do they donate? Like, how can they donate to you for the campaign?
Well, it does. We do rely a lot on donations because it's not everything costs money. What we can do is you can go on our website. So you can go on Wade for Ward 9 .ca or johnwilliamwade.ca, and there'll be a donate button. And so you click on that donate button. Of course, we need to make sure that you do live in Alberta.
Okay.
You have to live in Alberta, and you have to just verify that. Basically, that's what it is. And so even age is not a restriction. It's if it's younger people who want to donate, we would be very happy to represent them too.
So if you're 5 years old and you're using your mom's credit card type deal? No, just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Well,
don't do it. Do not do it.
Yeah, get your mom's permission.
So
please.
the goal of this podcast is to get the world, not just the word out there, but like you want to continue with it afterwards when elected.
Yes. Because one of the things, again, being part of Ward 9's International Avenue BRZ for so long, is that some of these businesses really don't have a budget for marketing. And there are so many exciting things, like for example, all the cultural diversity that we have in Ward 9, it's amazing. And so we'd like to be able to start highlighting those people. If you go to Ramsey, you have tons of artists. It's chock full of artists. And now some of them are starting to move into Dover and Southview area as well. So we have all those artists that we would love to highlight. We have social services in the area who are performing very important services to the public, but they go really unnoticed for the most part. And that needs to stop. We need to understand what's going on and what drives the whole area. It's amazing. There's great people in the area.
So what are your thoughts on City Hall right now?
Well, I think the biggest thing with City Hall is that it seems to be that maybe the tail is now wagging the dog. And what I mean by that is that it's supposed to be City Council is voted by us, the electorate, so we are supposed to be their bosses. And the last time I checked with most jobs, most employees are in a position where they have to listen to their boss. Right now, when you talk to many people in Calgary, they don't feel like they're being listened to. So that's a big issue. Now, is that deliberate or is it accidental? I'll let people decide that. But I do know that when people stay in power too long, that people will become disenfranchised because the person who they voted in for that long doesn't listen to them anymore.
I think that when you're in any job a long time, that you can become stagnant and,
Yeah,
and
stagnant's
very
a good word.
uninterested.
Sometimes I use the word expired. You kind of get past your expiration date, right? And, so again, when you're sitting there for that long, yeah, I can see why people would. So for me, along that line, I've made a commitment. I will only be in there for 2 terms as the Ward 9 City Councillor, because I don't want that to happen to me. And so...
And then you just go up from there, right? Like you're going for mayor after that?
You never know.
I love when I put you on the spot. Not very often can I put you on the spot. So I want to talk, I want to take it a little bit further here. What are your thoughts on Nenshi?
Well, Mayor Nenshi has had an amazing run. He's the longest serving mayor in the history of Calgary. And I think now it'll be interesting to see where he goes. Because again, back to what I was saying before, when someone stays for a long time, they can become stagnant. And I think that's what he was starting to feel, is he wants to move on to something else. It'll be interesting to see what he does next.
Absolutely, it will. So we're going to continue on. This is the first episode for Ward 9, and we're going to continue on. We're going to start to get into who you really are as a person. So let's talk about that in the next episode coming up.